Graphing review number 3, can I help you with? Yes.
9.
Number 9. Solve each inequality. Okay, cool. So this means below the x-axis. Agree? All right, so I would definitely jump on to Desmos. And again, friends, make sure that Desmos is on your phone. It's going to be useful for you. And let's jump on and see what Desmos has to offer us. All right, so change your inequality sign and your 0, make it y equals. So y equals, put it in parentheses, x minus 4, close parentheses, divided by. And you can put this in parentheses. I don't know if it's necessary to put these in parentheses or not, but we'll just do it. Plus 2x minus 35. All right, so let's darken that a little bit. So you're basically seeing everything that's taking place with the graph. You could zoom out all day long, and you're going to see stuff is taking place. Okay, so we have to think about, what does this number be? Well, this is -5, this is -6, this is -7. So technically, x equals -7. We have that, and then x equals 5 is our other equation we could use. Those green and blue are definitely our asymptotes. Okay, that's where our denominator is equal to 0. Okay, so keeping in mind the -5 to -7. So x can't equal -5 and it can't equal -7. Oops. -5 and 7, is that right? +5 and -7. I went backwards. +5 and -7. All right, so our domain is going to go from -infinity to -7. It's also going to go from -7 to 5, and it's also going to go from 5 to infinity. Now, let's go back to the graph and explain why that takes place. As we are coming this way, I can get to this -7. I get really close to it, but I can't get there. That's why it's a soft bracket at the -7. But then it seems to make a leap from -infinity way up here to +infinity. So at -7, it starts up again, just on the other side of it, and it goes to +5. Those are both soft brackets. Soft brackets, or the parentheses, mean that's where it would be undefined. And then again, this continues down here forever, continues up here. So at 5, it's going to go to infinity. So that's why our domain, or our inequality, works. Oh wait, I just gave you the domain, didn't I? Okay, so solve each inequality. Oh, okay. So if Starp read directions, be a much better teacher. Okay, so where is this graph below the x-axis? Well, this is right over here. This region here is all going to be below the x-axis. So from -infinity to -7, soft brackets. So down below. So this was just my domain. So I was just kidding because I don't read directions. So below the x-axis is going to go from -infinity to -7. Soft bracket means it approaches the -7. So you're talking about what's doing the x direction. So then when you go back to it, it appears right here exactly, bless you, right there at exactly that point. It's on the x-axis, so it's not below it. So from soft bracket 4 to soft bracket 5. So soft bracket 4 to soft bracket 5. Okay, the soft bracket 4 means it doesn't include that 4, but can we include that 4 because of this? What do you think? Is that an equal sign as well? So hard bracket at the -4, soft bracket to the 5. So that's where the graphic self is below the x-axis or touches the x-axis. So that's technically a solution. Is that okay? What else did you see on Graphing Review 3 I could help you with? Feel okay? Yeah. Okay. So there's an equal sign as a part of the inequality sign. So that means less than or equal to. So it's equal to 0 exactly at that point. That's why I put a hard bracket there. Everything else was approaching in the x direction, with talking about what's going on in the y. And then in the y direction, you're also at -4. We are exactly on the x-axis. You wanted to have the equal sign. If it was just a less than sign, you're not going to have that. And then, cool. What else you see, friends? Seem all right? Hey, so there are 3 of you that still haven't taken the very first quiz that's on Schoology. It's still open, but it's now counting as a 0 in the grade book, and you don't want a 0 in the grade book, especially with something that easy. So once you get it done, I'll make sure I put it in the grade book. Usually I take care of Schoology stuff the following morning before school. Usually I try and get the grade book and anything that you showed me during class updated by the end of the school day. So that's kind of the method to my madness. It doesn't always have to happen that way. Okay, so we have a quiz tomorrow, and the quiz tomorrow is almost all factoring. Okay? Now, before that panics you, I want us to make sure we feel comfortable with Desmos and are able to do factoring with Desmos. Okay? So let's say we had an equation like this. And we want to factor it. Okay? Now some of you are like, oh, that factors x plus 3 and x plus 4. And then there's some of you that say, you're speaking Latin to me, and I never took Latin. Okay? So how's a way that I could do factoring if I am not sure about how doing it? Any thoughts? Because I can't teach you like a whole month's worth of factoring if you don't know how to factor, but I can tell you a simple way to do it if you don't know how to factor at this point. Thoughts? Yeah.
Plug it into Desmos and see where it crosses the x-axis.
Love it. Plug it in Desmos. So notice this is x plus 3, x plus 4. So if I plug that into Desmos, x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay? So this region right here, notice I have here and here. So it was x plus 3 and x plus 4, but notice what the roots are. They're at -4 and -3. So my roots, if by graphing this at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Notice I get -4 and -3. So this means x equals -4. This means x equals -3. Bring it over to create a binomial, so you get x plus 4. Bring it over again to make it a binomial, x plus 3. So it'll factor nicely. Now, what should you do? Let's say you had, and this is not anything given, but let's say I see that it crosses at 1, at 2. So let's say I definitely have a crossing here. I have a crossing here. let's have another crossing over here. But then let's have a crossing here. Okay, so you're pretty satisfied with these crossings. What value do you give this, roughly?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, now, is everybody okay that this yields me x plus 1 as a binomial? Is everyone okay that this yields me x minus 1 as a binomial? This yields me x minus 2 as a binomial. Do you feel comfortable with those three? Anyone stuck on any of that? So how do I make this a binomial? Yeah. Okay, I like your thinking. So first off, do you agree that x equals 2.5 works? Okay, I don't want it, excuse me, I don't want any decimals. So what should I multiply both sides by to get rid of the decimal? 10. So I get 10x equals 25. Agree? Can I reduce both of those by the same number? And if so, what's the number that goes into both of those? 5. So 5 goes into 10 twice. 5 goes into 25 5 times. So what's the binomial that 2.5 yields me? 2x. Anyone want to participate?
Minus 5.
2x minus 5. That's it. Okay, so this will probably be the toughest thing that you see on there. Okay, so I will give you equations. Graph them. Y equals, graph it. Figure out where it crosses the x-axis. You know all the binomials that exist, but a lot of times on Desmos, and let me see, I can make one up off the cuff. And I know I talked about the synthetic division before, but I was going to shorten it a little bit. Where would one be? So here would be one that we could look at. Okay? So if I want to factor that down into basically 3 binomials, okay, the reason I know there's 3 is raised to the 3rd power. We're going to jump onto Desmos. I get y equals 2x raised to the 3rd, oops, plus 9x squared plus 19x minus 30. Wait, I made a mistake. 2x squared plus 9x squared minus 6x. I'm sorry, minus 6x minus 5. And just go back and hit home. It'll take you home. So just by clicking on it, it tells you. So negative 5 comma 0 is what binomial?
X plus 5.
X plus 5. 1 comma 0 is what binomial? X minus 1. So does everyone feel good with, I know that x plus 5 and x minus 1 are 2 of my binomials. And then we have that 0.5 there, negative 0.5. So again, I'm going to multiply both sides by 10. Okay? And I could have doubled it. It would have worked this way. But I just want to make sure you feel comfortable with this. So I get that. Reduce. What number goes both into 5 and 10? Please don't say 1. 5. So I get 2x equals negative 1. So what's this binomial going to be? 2x plus 1. Okay? That's basically all you have to do. Now, what would happen if it gave you a point like right here, and let's say this is the point 0.333330. What fraction do you think that goes with? Yeah, 1/3. So if I get x equals 1/3, how would I make that a binomial without a fraction?
Times 30.
Yeah, times both sides by 3. And then this gives me 3x minus 1 as a binomial for that. Okay? So those are definitely things that you need to go. So that's, if you can use Desmos and you can convert where it crosses the x-axis from Desmos to the binomial. And if you get stuck, if I give you some obscure fraction, I don't think I did, but let's say you get some weird decimal and you're just not sure, you can ask me and I'll give you some hints on how to do it. Okay, so you'll see that that's the front page. The back page, here's the kicker. Back page is related to what I talked about on Friday. So if you weren't here, the video's up. And so it talks about, I'm going to give you a scenario from a rent to own. And then what I need you to do is, obviously you got to use your phones because your phones is where Desmos is. But your phones are also where the internet lives. Agree? So, like if I said, hey, you found a TV that's going to cost you $25 a week for 700 weeks, and this is the size TV. If you kind of come out saying, look, I found a TV for $500, which is about the same as that. So do I want to pay do I want to save up so I can keep $500 and then buy the TV in a couple of weeks when I get the $500? Or do I want to go and turn that $500 TV into like a $2,300 TV because you're making payments on it? Okay, so that's basically what type of scenario you would see. Okay, does that make sense? And you just have to justify. I mean, you say, hey, you know what? I pulled up Best Buy, I pulled up Amazon, I pulled up whatever. Just kind of tell me, what did you pull up? What did you find? I'm not going to go and look it up. I'm not going to be like, oh, they found something on Amazon. No, they didn't find it on Amazon. I'm not that person. I just want you to, the financial literacy piece that comes with this class, I think is just something that you need to know. And you need to know because you want to be a informed consumer, not a consumer that's giving up way more money than they need to. Okay? Time we out of here. 10:06. All right, so I would say that I was going to assign you the review. But what I'm really going to assign you is this. Be sure Desmos is on your phone. Is there anybody in here that does not have a phone that gets Desmos? Anyone got that flip phone? If you're embarrassed to say anything, come let me know, and I'll make sure you have a computer that'll log on to Desmos. Cool? There's no shame in that. I mean, I'm the guy that gets a phone, and basically the company calls me and saying, look, we no longer support your 1G phone, pal. So I'm that guy. And, not because I can't afford something else. I use things until they're no longer good. So make sure you have Desmos on your phone, and also be sure you feel good about factoring with Desmos. Okay? And that's all I have for you for today. Does that sound okay?